Today, we have the privilege of having Yee Yee with us. Yee Yee is a teacher and she is also a mother of a child who needs some of her special attention. So, we will find out from her, what are some of the tough times that she has been through and how she overcame the adversities that she faced. So, if you like the video that you're gonna watch, do smash the like button and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to have more videos coming your way.
Everyone, I'm Yee Yee. Thank you, Matilda, for inviting me for the interview. It's my honor to be able to be here with all of you. And I have been teaching for about 9 years. Taking care of my son is not an easy feat, especially when he was after 1 month old. During the first month that he came to our life, he was quite all right. We thought that, taking a baby is not that difficult. But somehow after the confinement nanny left, and we are very much left on our own. Okay, the people at home is only my husband, myself, and the baby. So we don't have external help, and we are not for the idea of engaging a maid. So everything was pretty much on our own. So what was difficult was that that time I didn't have enough breast milk supply. So actually, it upsetted me a lot because a lot of people, they will be telling you, say, oh, it's impossible for you not to have enough supply. If you just try and then it will just come naturally. So I tried and every time it was a very painful experience. The breast milk is not coming as smoothly as I hoped it would. So I will spend like half an hour, 1 hour, then trying frequently, but it didn't quite work. So it's very discouraging. I'll go in to the room with the milk bottle, then I come out with only like 20, 30 ml, which is like obviously not enough to feed my hungry son. So that was the first blow, not having enough breast milk. Then subsequently, after the first month, my boy, somehow he was becoming very difficult. Other than the times that he was drinking milk or sleeping, the rest of the time he'll be crying and wailing away, and he was very, very cranky. So we didn't know how to handle him. And it was tough for me because my husband is at work most of the time. Things got pretty bad, and I had very bad postnatal blues, which I think the worst period of the postnatal blues. It actually lasted for about a year or two. So at that point of time, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to seek help. So to me, it's like, oh, this is my problem. So I think I better settle it on my own. So yeah, it was pretty tough. So then things got improved a little after I sent my boy to a nanny. We found a nanny that stayed like one bus stop away from us. So when my boy was about almost 3 months, we sent him to the nanny. So every morning I'll bring the boy to the nanny, then evening time I'll fetch him back. So with some time on my own, and not having to hear my voice wailing and withstand the crankiness most part of the day, then things got really better. But the emotions is still not settled. Somehow, it's just very upsetting. Like when he comes back in the evening, then he has to start cycle, then night feeds. And then during the weekends he doesn't go to the nanny's place. So weekends again, we are pretty much on our own. But his crankiness didn't stop. So what we tried to do was try to bring him out as often as possible. So as at least when he's outside, then he seems a bit better. So much later, then we found out that he was so cranky because he was affected by some negative energy.
Right.
So my mom, being a traditional woman and like she was a devoted Taoist. So she went to ask around, then brought some things back. Then we did the rituals. Then somehow he became much better. So things got improved from there. But all the while, my son, he's very attention seeking since he was a baby. Then when he's much older, we find that, you know, at like 1 year plus 2 years, he's he can be quite stubborn. So he knows what he wants. So he will not give in until you give in to him.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so it was pretty tough. So but I think over time uh we somehow know how to handle him. So the key actually is not to give in to him, but not to have like a tug of war, like use some other distractors or talk to him nicely, or just try to pretend not to hear, although it's very difficult because it can be very loud. So like ignore and ignore until after repeated tries, he's not getting his way,
Mm,
then then he'll give up. I find that a few things work for me lah. For example, if I do my meditation regularly,
mm-hmm.
I use some essential oils. So I find that they really help to calm me down.
Mm,
And I'm faced with very, very naughty kids. I'm surprised that I didn't like blast at them if I do my meditation and if I use my oils regularly. So I wish I had known about like meditation and essential oils even before the birth of my
right.
son. So it was only when he was I think when he was about like 3 or 4 years old, then I know about I learned more about meditation and more about essential oils. So I if I had known them earlier, probably things would be less tough for me then. Yeah.
Right. So it does help you like mentally, emotionally,
Yes. And I think the
and
emotional state of anyone, okay, is very important. Um, if you can, if you can, how do I say, if you can be calm in most of the times, and you can like be less stressed about certain things, actually you find that life would be more enjoyable, and life is a breeze. Challenges actually or difficulties is a state of mind. Yeah.
right.
We think that it's a challenge, or we think it's a difficulty, yeah, because our brain tell us so. But
Mm,
sometimes after you have overcome that adversity, then when you look back, I'm sure many of us will be surprised. Hey, wow, I actually did that, and I actually overcame the problem or the challenge.
so will you say like having a community of like-minded women, to empower one another is very important?
Mm. Yeah, definitely. Because when you have that community, you find that, oh, actually, I'm not the only one in the entire world that has faced this problem before.
Mm,
So you realize, there are many people who share similar experience as you. We are all in the same boat. So even though there may not be like clear-cut solutions, but talking to each other, then sharing experiences, and then some people they can share how they overcome their problems or elevate the problems. I think elevation is very important. So it actually makes you feel a lot more better rather than keeping a lot of things within yourself. And sometimes it may not be necessarily easy to talk to your family members or close ones. So talking to an external party
mm.
is not within your family. I find that may be more fruitful, especially somebody who can, empathize with you and also share her experience with you and how she overcame her adversity. Or she shared with you her story, which you realize, wow, her problems is actually like 10 times or 100 times more serious than yours.
So actually that's the whole idea for like setting up this channel. When more women actually hear the different stories of different women, they know that they could possibly also be in that same shoe, maybe not be exactly the same, but
Mm.
fragments of here and there. Definitely, I'm sure there will be a lot of women who also resonate with your story. So what is that one oil that you really feel that is the go-to oil whenever you feel you need some kind of uplifting?
There are actually few oils that I would like to use for emotional, but I thought forgiveness is really good.
Mm,
Forgiveness is not only it doesn't mean only forgiving others, but also forgiving ourselves. Because as women, I think we like to take upon everything, put it on our shoulders, and then we think that those are our problems, and then we carry the heavy burden and we go around. Then when things don't go well, we tend to blame ourselves. Like for example, my son, for example, when he was younger and he falls sick quite often, so I tend to blame myself and say, oh, was it because he didn't have breast milk? Breast milk is known to have a lot of antibodies. So was it because he didn't have my enough breast milk? That's why he's falling sick so often. So I also tend to blame myself a lot. But in recent months, since I use forgiveness, I really realized that a lot of problems, a lot of baggage that I've been carrying, yeah, they seem to have lightened up a lot. And I also, yes, I also think it couples with like opening up and sharing my problems with other people and using the oils. I really feel so much lighter. Yeah, so I wish that I had opened up earlier to to the right person. Because sometimes when we share problems, we only share maybe like part A. We didn't share the whole episode.
Yeah.
Because we think that to share the whole episode will be too embarrassing. Or actually like we're putting ourselves in a bad light. So I think that's the problem with women. Yeah, but
Right.
okay, the top oil I would say is forgiveness.
Mm.
So I use it in my bath gel also. It really refreshes, and then you start the day seem to be like feeling lighter. Yeah, so I recommend that oil.
Wow, thank you so much for your sharing.
Okay, no
I'm
problem.
sure, like, actually, a lot of people have like stage fear, or they have like fear coming on to, video themselves. So I must say, like, it's very courageous of you to even just be here.
Yeah.
And but actually, truly, when we start sharing about our problems, that we used to think that it's embarrassing, or like nobody will be interested in our story. But actually, on the contrary, when we open up, when we share what we think is embarrassing, it actually helps us, to let go of that baggage and to move on. And in a way, it also helps others, who might be in that same situation.
I think I suddenly thought of the starfish story. So
Mm,
yeah, I was thinking the same line along you as you, thinking, oh, whether anyone would want to watch, this woman don't know where she comes from, and like talking so much about something which doesn't seem significant. So I was thinking, maybe it can, even if it can help one person, I think it's worth it. And if it's so sad that it can't help anyone with a particular story, I think like getting the interviewee to be able to share. I think that's also it's a form of release also.
what is the one last message that you have for women around the world, like a message that you want to leave them, that will empower them?
Don't be afraid to share your problems with your close friends. Yeah, you find that sharing really helps you. Do what you like, but within your limitations. Find time for yourself.
So self-love, right? Self-love is very important.
Yes, I think it's important. We have to learn to love ourselves more and learn to love ourselves first before loving other people. Yes, I think that's important.
Thank you so much, Yee Yee. Thank you so
Okay, no
much for your
problem. Thank you,
time, and
Matilda.
thank you so much for being here. I'm sure your sharing will be very useful for many women out there. Thank you. So don't forget to smash the like button if you enjoyed this video, and do subscribe to our channel to be alerted of upcoming videos.